The night air in El Paso was electric long before the lights dimmed. Hours before the show even began, tens of thousands of fans had already filled every inch of the massive stadium, their voices blending into a powerful wave of anticipation that seemed to shake the ground itself. Glowsticks shimmered like galaxies in motion, banners waved in the air, and chants echoed from every corner. This wasn't just a concert, it was a moment that felt destined to become history. And at the center of it all stood one name on everyone's lips, Jungkook. From the very beginning, the energy was different. As part of BTS's Arirang World Tour, expectations were already sky high. Fans came prepared to witness greatness, but what unfolded that night would go far beyond even their wildest imagination. There are performances, and then there are moments so powerful that they redefine everything you thought you knew about live music. This was one of them. When the stage lights finally dimmed, a roar surged through the stadium like a tidal wave crashing against cliffs. The giant screens flickered to life, teasing silhouettes of the members, and the opening beats reverberated through the speakers. One by one, the members appeared, each met with deafening cheers. But when Jungkook stepped into the spotlight, something shifted. The volume of the crowd didn't just increase, it exploded. He stood there, calm yet commanding, his presence alone enough to captivate tens of thousands. There was no rush in his movements, no sign of nerves, just a quiet confidence that hinted at something extraordinary about to unfold. Fans screamed his name, their voices overlapping into a chaotic symphony of devotion. Cameras zoomed in, capturing every detail, the intensity in his eyes, the subtle smile on his lips, the steady rise and fall of his breath. The performance began like any other, flawless choreography, powerful beats, synchronized perfection. But then came the moment. The moment that would soon dominate social media, spark debates, and leave even seasoned industry professionals speechless. It happened during a vocal break, one of those sections where everything slows down, where the music pulls back just enough to let the voice take center stage. The instrumental softened, the lights dimmed to a soft glow, and for a split second, the entire stadium seemed to hold its breath. And then, Jungkook sang. One note. That's all it took. It wasn't just any note. It was pure, controlled, and impossibly powerful. It cut through the air with a clarity that felt almost unreal, resonating deep within the chest of every single person in that stadium. It wasn't just heard, it was felt. The kind of note that sends chills down your spine before your brain even has time to process what's happening. For a fraction of a second, there was silence. And then chaos. The stadium erupted. Screams exploded from every direction, louder than anything that had come before. Fans jumped to their feet, some clutching their chests, others covering their mouths in disbelief. Many were already in tears. Phones shook as people desperately tried to capture the moment, though no recording could ever truly do it justice. It wasn't just the volume of the crowd, it was the intensity. The kind of reaction you don't fake, the kind that comes from being completely overwhelmed. Social media would later be flooded with comments from fans who described the experience in almost identical ways. I couldn't breathe, I forgot where I was, it didn't feel real. What made it even more unbelievable was how effortless it seemed. Jungkook didn't strain. He didn't overextend. But everyone in that stadium knew it wasn't ordinary. Experts would later break down the moment, analyzing vocal control, pitch accuracy, breath support. They would talk about technique, about training, about natural talent. But none of those explanations could fully capture what actually happened. Because what Jungkook delivered in that moment wasn't just technical excellence, it was something deeper. It was connection. It was emotion. It was presence. As the performance continued, the energy never dipped. If anything, it intensified. Every move, every line, every glance felt amplified by what had just occurred. Fans weren't just watching anymore, they were completely immersed, hanging on to every second as if they didn't want it to end. And yet, even among all the incredible moments that followed, that one note remained the centerpiece. The moment people kept coming back to. The moment that defined the night. Clips began circulating online almost immediately. Within minutes, hashtags started trending. Within hours, the performance had gone global. Fans who weren't even there felt the impact through their screens, reacting with shock and awe. "How is this real?" one comment read. "This is why he's on another level," said another. The phrase vocal power started appearing everywhere, but many argued that even that wasn't enough. Because what Jungkook displayed wasn't just power. It was control, emotion, and precision all at once. A rare combination that only a handful of artists in the world can truly master. Back in the stadium, as the concert moved toward its finale, the atmosphere remained charged. Every song felt bigger, louder, more meaningful. But there was also a sense of disbelief lingering in the air. Fans kept turning to each other, as if silently asking, "Did that really just happen?" By the time the final song ended and the members stood together for their closing ment, the crowd was still buzzing. Jungkook spoke briefly, his voice softer now, thanking the fans for their support. There was a humility in his tone that contrasted sharply with the explosive reaction he had just caused. And maybe that's what made it even more powerful. Because behind the super vocal power, behind the viral moment, behind the global attention, there was still the same artist, focused, dedicated, and deeply connected to his audience. As the lights came back on and fans slowly began to leave, the conversations didn't stop. If anything, they grew louder. People replayed the moment in their minds, trying to hold on to it for as long as possible. Some laughed in disbelief. Others wiped away tears. Many simply shook their heads, still unable to fully process what they had witnessed. Outside the stadium, the night felt different. The air carried the echoes of what had just happened, as if the performance had left a mark not just on the audience, but on the entire city. And somewhere in the midst of all that noise, one truth became undeniable. That one note wasn't just a highlight. It was a statement. A reminder of why Jungkook continues to stand at the very top of the global stage. A moment that proved, once again, that true artistry isn't just about hitting the right notes, it's about creating something that people will never forget. Because years from now, when fans look back on this tour, on this night in El Paso, on this sea of lights and voices and emotion, they won't just remember the songs. They'll remember the moment the stadium exploded. They'll remember the second everything changed. They'll remember that one note. And they'll remember exactly how it made them feel. What really happened in El Paso shocked the entire world. During the latest BTS Arirang World Tour, Jungkook delivered a moment that fans will never forget. In front of more than 50,000 army, one single note changed everything. The stadium literally exploded with screams as Jungkook showcased his unbelievable vocal power, stability, and emotion. Fans were left speechless, many crying, others completely shocked at what they had just witnessed. Was this the greatest live vocal moment of Jungkook's career? Or even one of the most iconic moments in BTS history? Watch until the end and decide for yourself. Purple Heart, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more BTS updates.